as Venture de Cognac looks as if he's going to jump off with the leaders, and also Ashley House right up there on the inside, but they're running, and Venture de Cognac is the first to show. From Earthstopper in second place, Ashley House is third, then Richdee, Scott Lane, Little Owl and Leslie Ann. But Ashley House didn't make the running in the early stages of his last two races, but soon jumped his way to the front, and it'll be interesting to see what happens this time. Quite a long run to the first fence. Not ideal in steeplechasing, but these runners are so experienced that I don't think it'll catch them out. And the leader, Venture de Cognac, at the first of the 18 fences. Earthstopper over second, Ashley House third, Richdee 4, Little Owl 5, Scott Lane a slight mistake in sixth, and last of the 7, Leslie Ann, as they come to the second. Venture de Cognac jumping well in the lead. Earthstopper second, Ashley House restrained in third place, Richdee, Scott Lane, Little Owl and Leslie Ann as they jump the third. A big jump again by the leader, Venture de Cognac. Gave that fence a few inches to spare as he comes to the fourth. Another good jump by Venture de Cognac, ridden by Oliver Sherwood. Clear now of Earthstopper, Ashley House, Little Owl, Scott Lane, Richdee and Leslie Ann as they go to the first open ditch, fence number 5. Venture de Cognac from Earthstopper, then Ashley House, Little Owl, Scott Lane, Richdee and Leslie Ann, and you can see that the leader, Venture de Cognac, has some 10 lengths to spare over his nearest rival, Earthstopper. First and second both ridden by amateur riders. Oliver Sherwood on Venture de Cognac and George Sloan on Earthstopper. The next fence will be the 6th. Venture de Cognac, ears pricked, bowling along sweetly in the lead, jumps that well. His conqueror at Newbury, Earthstopper, jumps it in second place. Ashley House lying third. Remember, Ashley House won over 3.5 miles here a fortnight ago. This is only 3 miles as they jump the 7th. Venture de Cognac still clear of Earthstopper. Ashley House third. Then Scott Lane, Little Owl, Richdee and Leslie Ann. But although the field's fairly well strung out, they all seem to be going within themselves as they jump the 8th. Earthstopper has been joined in second place by Ashley House, but the leader still clear, Venture de Cognac, as he comes to the second open ditch, fence number 9. About 6 lengths in front now of Ashley House and Earthstopper, who are together second and third. Another gap of half a dozen lengths or so to Scott Lane as they come to the water. Venture de Cognac still clear of Ashley House. Then in third place, Earthstopper, 4 Scott Lane, 5 Little Owl, Richdee on the inside. In 6th place, and Leslie Ann last of the 7. And now Venture de Cognac has little more than a length to spare over his nearest rival, Ashley House, who's now a clear second. In third place is Earthstopper. A close fourth, Scott Lane, then Little Owl, Richdee and Leslie Ann, all well in touch as they go to the 11th. Venture de Cognac. A length and a half in front, and a bad mistake by Scott Lane. A good recovery by Craig Smith. The next is the 12th. And Ashley House has taken up the running now from Venture de Cognac, and they've set up quite a gap over Earthstopper, who pecked on landing, then Little Owl, and they've got 6 to jump. Ashley House over first from Venture de Cognac, then Earthstopper, Little Owl closing on the leaders, then Richdee, Scott first. Earthstopper hit that. And Ashley House from Venture de Cognac, Earthstopper, Little Owl, Richdee, who's under pressure, and the last 2, Scott Lane and Leslie Ann, both under strong pressure, with Scott Lane dropping back last, but it's Ashley House who has the lead on the home turn of about 4 lengths from Earthstopper. Little Owl's going up into third place. Venture de Cognac is struggling now in 4th. And then there's a gap to Richdee, who gets another reminder, then Leslie Ann, and well last now is Scott Lane as they come to the third last fence. Ashley House in the lead, jumps it ahead of Earthstopper and Little Owl. Then Venture to Cognac trying to get back into the picture on the inside, but Ashley House making the best of his way home with 3.5 furlongs to race, 2 fences to jump, and Ashley House still clear of Little Owl, and Earthstopper jumps slightly to the right, the leader, but if anything he's increased his advantage. Scott Lane's been pulled up, and coming to the last of the 18 fences, it's Ashley House galloping on strongly with this clear advantage. They're not making any impression. Little Owl is second, Richdee now getting into the picture and challenging for second place. And the leader well over the last fence. He's got 1.5 furlongs to run, and he's well clear. Ashley House from Richdee coming into second. In third place is Little Owl. 4 is Venture to Cognac, and with 100 yards to race, Ashley House is going to hold on. Richdee is making ground, but he's not going to catch the leader. It's another win for Ashley House, his third win in a fortnight. Second is Richdee. It's very close for third, with Venture to Cognac just getting up, I think, to beat Little Owl for third. Then in fifth place, Earthstopper. 6, Leslie Ann, and Scott Lane passing the post, but in fact he had earlier pulled up. It's a photo for third place, but no doubt about the winner, number 7, Ashley House, owned by Mr. Joseph McLaughlin, trained by Michael Dickinson and ridden by Robert Earnshaw. Second was number 5, Richdee, owned by Miss D. Dalzell, trained by Captain Neville Crump and ridden by John Joe O'Neill, and a photograph for third place between number 2, Venture to Cognac, and number 1, Little Owl. And as they come to the second last, let's see it again with Richard Pittman.
It had been a terrific gallop right from the start, because Venture to Cognac had really gone off at a cracking pace, and in fact had looked as if he was going to drop right out, but he's running back on again now. He's in second place on the right of the following group, but Ashley House at the second last, as he's done throughout, picking his legs up superbly. Little Owl had been making relentless progress, and at this stage had run through to be second and looked to be the only danger to the winner. In fact, the second horse is now 5th, Richdee, and runs on very strongly. He jumped 1 or 2 rather deliberately early on, but it looks as if nobody's going to catch Ashley House. He's really well handicapped, as indeed Brigorn was, the winner of last year's race, also from the Dickinson stable. Another good jump, getting slightly close there, but this horse has got a lot of spring. Little Owl in second place, but just about to surrender it to Richdee, with Venture to Cognac running on again in fine style. I should think that his physiotherapist will have no troubles today, because he's certainly run a true race. Earthstopper rather disappointing, and so was the mare Leslie Ann, but she'd found the early pace not to her liking and hadn't jumped too well. But Ashley House has been out on his own for a long time. Robert Earnshaw keeping up to his work with hands and heels, and Richdee running on strongly. A really fine run from these two. They're both on the 10-7 mark. And this horse, well, if he were mine, he'd go for the National, because he's got a lot of spring in his heels, although his owner isn't keen. Although we'll talk to him after racing and see what his plans are now. Richdee, a good second there, and very close with Venture to Cognac, looks as if he's third. But as they come in to the winner's enclosure, we have starting prices for you.
First